live as if your father were dead. Now, when I think about the expectations that a father might put upon their son and everything because of the tough love or setting high expectations for them, wanting the best for them as a father and all these things, that's kind of the relationship me and my dad would have. The tough love, he would always say that he was proud of me and everything, and he would always say that, you know, that he was just always proud of me, but he was never really, it was that balance between never really being satisfied with what I had to produce with my life, we could say. Growing up and everything, that was the kind of dynamic that me and my dad had. And when I got to a certain age, I realized, I was like, damn, like all the tough love and all the words that he would say, kind of the criticisms and everything, when it came to the YouTube content that I make, when it came to my boxing amateur career, when it came to certain aspects, he would have that criticism that he would say about me or whatever. And that's 100% fine, because I understood how a father would want that for their son. So he only wants the best for me, and he only wants me to be the best version of myself. So understanding that, but then also understanding that I didn't have to have that. I didn't need to keep that in my life for me to improve myself, better myself, be the best version of myself. So what I did about a year ago is that I contacted I didn't even contact him actually. So usually we would phone call and talk on the phone, you know, every second day, almost every day or whatever. And he would always contact me and stay in touch with me. And that was his way of being involved in my life and growing up and everything. And eventually I just stopped answering his phone calls, because I realized how much control I had over in this certain aspect. The fact that he's not here, I could easily just do that and not answering his phone calls. So stopped answering his phone calls, and then eventually he contacted my mum, said why isn't Eden replying and everything. And I had told my mum a little bit about the reason why I decided to do that. And eventually he tricked me on Christmas. He called me with a different number, and I answered and I was like, hello? And he's like, hello son, how you doing? Not hello, what the fuck? Hello son, how you doing? And I was like, what the? I was like, you tricked me. And he was like, well, you're not answering my calls. And this was an emotional phone call, because for him, his firstborn son, his only son, was obviously getting older and getting more mature and becoming a man and everything. And I told him, I was like, Dad, like, to be honest, you're a fucking dick. You're a dickhead. And I don't need your energy or your criticism in my life for me to be the best version of myself. So I decided to move on from that. And he just listened, and he was emotional about it. And he said, okay, if that's what you want, then that's all right, so be it, that's all right. And I was like, Dad, I always love you. It was from a loving place, and I will talk to you eventually. But it was that time where I had to let go of those expectations that he had, or those thoughts that he put upon me, those opinions that he had about me or whatever. And yeah, I just kind of like let go of that factor with my dad, and not being in contact with my dad and living as if my father were dead. It sounds quite deep, it sounds quite weird to think of life like that, but what ties to living like that is you letting go of the expectations that they have put upon you or whatever, the criticisms that they might say about you living your life in a certain way. The fact that you're growing up as a young man and building your own kingdom and creating your own foundations, however that will lead you to. And that was the best thing that I ever did in a while. Like, that was the weight that I had on my shoulders was lifted off because I let go of my father's thoughts, criticisms, expectations. And now I do everything the way I want to do it. I do what I want, do what I think's best. I walk my path. I'm building my own kingdom because I am my own man. And I know that when it's all said and done, it's not something to say, I told you so, Dad. I told you that the content will work. It's not to say that I was right all along and that I knew what I was doing. It's never really about that, because at the end of the day, that's all he really wants anyway. So it kind of helps us both in that factor as well. He wants me to be the best version of myself, probably even better than him. And obviously I want him to be proud, and I know he's proud of me now. So not having that contact though really helps, because if you have that in your life, if you have a father that has that tough love, it's a bit, just hard on you. If you're able to remove that in some sort of way, you're able to move out at home, you're able to live with other people, not with your parents or whatever. If you're able to, as a young man, be able to let go in some way or another, whether that's you know, not answering their phone calls, not talking to them anymore, not conversating with them anymore, letting go of their expectations, even like that, the weight will be taken off your shoulders, and then you can kind of move on and do whatever you want to do with your life. So that's what this video is about. One of the best ways that this helps you when you live your life in the way where you detach from your father's expectations, what your father says, everything like that. The best thing that it can do for you is that it improves your mental health, which kind of positively impacts your self-improvement as a young man. When you let go of your father and everything like that, and you become your own man, make your own choices, decide your own things, your mental becomes a lot clearer because you don't have the negative thoughts coming in your brain. You're probably, if you're anything like me, you are, and anything like majority of humans, we are our own biggest critic. And now imagine you're somebody that always tries to become the best version of themselves, that always thinks that it's not good enough, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. I need to do better, better tomorrow, better the next day, better the next day, 1% better here, 1% better here. If you're somebody that always criticizes themselves because of the need and want and the desire to want to be the best version of yourself, even in your own brain, you're always trying to become almost the perfect man. And then another layer around that, on the external factor, there's someone saying some stuff as well, and that's your father, the person that you look up to, the person that you admire in some sort of way or another. Imagine that if you're anything like me, and you're always criticizing yourself, and you always try your best, and you're always doing these little things, and then there's that external layer, the father, that is always giving their opinion and saying that, you know, you should do it this way, or no, I think you're wrong, no, you're wrong, no, blah blah blah. And there's that on the external factor. Imagine how your mental health would feel having constantly that throughout a long duration of time, and now living as if your father were dead. Because if your father, you know, has passed away or anything, it's a thing where you're forced to grow up a little bit faster. You're forced to take things upon yourself a little bit quicker than maybe someone that still has their father around, like myself or whatever. But making that conscious decision to kind of be at peace with yourself and still love your father from a distance and still appreciate him and everything, because it's not from a place of like hatred or resentment, and that's not a good place to go. But if it comes from a place where you are making a wise and structured decision to remove something, it's just basically like removing obviously just something that you feel wasn't beneficial for you, and I promise you your mental health will become way more better. It'll become way more improved if you let go of all of that, you know, from your father, from those kind of things that he tries to ingrain into you, and become your own man. If you know that you already try your best in certain things, you already go to the gym, you already try and read books as much as you can, you already write and journal and be in tune with yourself, you already socialize and meet new people and are good in that social flow, you already try and improve your hygiene and your looks and become the best that you can in every single area possible, you know, and you do that constantly throughout your lifestyle, and removing that kind of negative energy away from you will be very beneficial for your mental health. Your mental health is the basis of a lot of your self-improvement and a lot of your growth. If your mental health isn't at a good level, you know, you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you think more negatively about certain outcomes, you have certain negative perspectives on certain situations in your life, then it's going to be hard to keep showing up at the gym, to keep reading, to keep journaling, to keep meditating, to keep doing all these things, and it's not going to help you in the long run. So that's one of the biggest things that I found letting go of my father would do for me. What would you be doing if your father's criticisms didn't exist? What kind of life would you be having? What kind of job would you have? What kind of side hobbies would you do? What would you look like? How would you act? And if you ask yourself that kind of question, that kind of opens your eyes to the fact of like how my father's been treating me. And this doesn't apply to everyone. Some people have different dynamics with their dad. Some people don't even have that kind of any relationship with the dad at all, which isn't the best as well. You want a dynamic at least, or a relationship with your father. For certain people, they might have something in common with the sort of situation that I've had and relate to it. So if you ask yourself that question, and it opens your eyes to the fact of like, you are holding back with certain things. You are not fully being your 100% yourself. You're not doing the things that make you feel fulfilled. You're not being the person that you know you could be at your highest potential. The growth just goes, that's what I found. That's 100% what I found. I was the happiest that I had been in a long time, fully taking control of my own life. I got a new job, which I'm super grateful for, and it's a high paying job, and I love it, and it suits my personality. And when I let go of my father, I got the new job and got paid good money. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. I'm grateful. You know, a lot of things. I've progressed in a lot of things. I've learned more about how to better my speaking and how to improve my videos and everything. So it's been good. So I'm telling you, once that weight's off your shoulders and you live the life the way you want to live it, that you're going to be at peace and happy and fulfilled. This is the actionable step that you can use if you are in a certain situation like I am, or have been in a similar situation with that kind of dynamic with your father. You can do what I did, and if they're at a distance and you already have moved out, then you can just stop replying, stop talking to them on the phone, all that sort of things. Or you can just, you know, if they're that kind of dynamic, you can move out of home. So if you're still with your parents or whatever, find a way to move out, move them with your best friends, your brothers, everything like that, and do it like that. You can, in some way or another, I'm sure you'll be able to figure out a way. But also, like, there's another factor that we have to take into play here. And it's not, if you do take an action upon this kind of decision to remove yourself away from your dad's criticisms and expectations, you have to do it from a place of love. It's never good for you anyway if you did it out of resentment or hatred or anger. You have to remove yourself from whatever your father has done to you, done to your family, done to your mom, done to anything. You have to remove yourself from that, because the emotional perspective that you choose to take this action is important. You have to do it in a way where it's mature. You have to be mature about this. As a young man, making the mature decision to remove something that is negative has to be done in the right way, perspective wise, because sometimes it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And so that's a big key, making sure that it's from a place of love and maturity and all that sort of stuff. Letting go of all the bullshit that they did, that they had done to you, whatever, letting go of that and having that peace of mind and that factor. All right, so that's one big key thing. Do not do it out of anger, do not do it out of resentment or anything like that, because it's not going to be beneficial to you anyway. Your mental health does not get better in that regard. You don't go fuck you, hate you, blah blah blah, and then move on with your life. That kind of energy doesn't help yourself or the situation or the dynamic with you and your dad, all of that. You do it from love, you do it from maturity, you do it from, as a growing man, you are a man, you know? So there's that part as well. If you are someone that has a good dynamic with their dad and you love, they have a positive impact on you in that kind of regard, and they, you know, maybe they understand you a bit more, maybe they have less criticism towards you, maybe, you know, they actually, you've reflected on your relationship with your father and it's actually beneficial for you, then 100% keep that relationship, keep that dynamic. But that's something to be reflected upon. That's something to be reflected to see, does this actually benefit me? And do I need it in my life? So depending on that, maybe this video isn't for you. But I hope this helps you in any way possible. I appreciate you, I believe in you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.